Hey everybody, and welcome back to Happily Hester After. So from reading you all's comments, I know that a lot of us are or have been in kind of the same boat. I know that there are a lot of our followers that are trying to conceive or have been through trying to conceive and are now having their miracle children. Congratulations. And there are some that have gone through losses. So I don't know about you all, but I know for me, especially for the past few years, Mother's Day has been kind of hard for me on a couple of different levels. In some cases, Mother's Day has served as a reminder of what I desperately want but do not yet have, and in some cases it's a reminder of everything that I've lost. And you know, I say it lightly, but it's something that really I struggle with a lot when it comes to Mother's Day, because then I feel that way and then I feel guilty because, oh, you shouldn't feel that way and you should be celebrating everybody else, and it's gonna happen when it happens, when the timing comes, and you know, everything happens for a reason. And that guilt that accompanies the sadness that I feel just kind of makes things worse. But I wanted to talk to you all about some of kind of like the coping methods that I use for just kind of getting through it. And it sounds kind of harsh to say, but sometimes it is a holiday that you just have to get through. So these are some of my tips for getting through Mother's Day when it's hard for you, when you've gone through a loss or have been trying to conceive for a long time and it just feels like a dreaded holiday. So first of all, this is something that I'm trying to learn myself, that I'm still trying to kind of come to grips with, but it is okay to struggle. It is okay to feel sad sometimes. It is okay to not feel like you're 100, especially around this time. And that's one of the biggest things, is just accepting that, you know, there are some days where you are happy and you are smiling and you are laughing and it is just a great day, and there are some days when you are just trying to get through. There are some days when you just want to cry and you just want to mourn, or you just want to you know, have that time by yourself, and that is okay. Do not feel ashamed about that. Don't let anybody make you feel bad or guilty about it, but you do need to address those feelings and address those emotions. If you feel like, you know, you're about to go through, or you feel like you are going through, take some time to yourself to kind of deal with and let out those emotions. Do not keep it bottled up inside, because it'll just cause you to kind of explode at the end of the day. And you know, I had to deal with that personally. Like, for instance, today is the day before Mother's Day, and I was at work, and you all know I had the surgery and everything, and my period started. And I think it just hit me really hard because I was really hoping and praying that my period wouldn't start because I would be pregnant, and you know, I knew that tomorrow was gonna, well, I don't know when I think I'm gonna post this either tonight or tomorrow, but whenever, I knew that Mother's Day was the next day, and I knew that that was already gonna be kind of difficult for me, but I was just kind of hoping like that would be a great gift for Mother's Day, would be to find out that I was pregnant. But then my period started, and I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking about Mother's Day tomorrow, and I'm thinking about, you know, all the emotional stuff that I'm gonna have to deal with that. And then, you know, you have to realize I work at the aquarium, so I've got all these families coming up and these babies, and it just really hit me hard. And I just had to take a minute and, you know, I went and I talked to some of my managers, and they helped me out a lot. And that's what you have to do sometimes. Like, you own it and deal with it, and don't just bottle it up, because it will come back to bite you in the butt. Sometimes it helps to talk it out. Sometimes it helps to talk to other people, or sometimes you just need a few minutes to be on your own. I had to go and just sit for a minute and make me some tea and just calm my nerves down, because I was just like, I started feeling the cramps and everything. I think feeling that really just shocked me, because I was so like, this is gonna be it, and then it wasn't. So disappointments do come, and when they come, it's important to deal with them. So that's one of the major things, is to accept how you feel. It's okay to feel that way, but it's also important that you deal with it. Number two kind of goes a little bit off of that, is going to be if you feel like you need a few moments to yourself, or you feel like you need to separate yourself from others, then do that. Try not to be like, well, me personally, I try not to completely remove myself from the celebration, because there are so many moms out there who need to be celebrated. Like, you know, I have a lot of friends with children, and of course my own mom and my mother-in-law and everybody, and you want to be a part of the celebration just to show them that, you know, you appreciate them and the sacrifices that they make and everything that they do for their children. So you want to kind of be a part of it, but sometimes you just need to know your limits. I think that's what I'll put it to. Know your limits. If you know that you need a few minutes to kind of recompose yourself, excuse yourself, go do that, and, you know, try your best to go back out there. But if you just cannot go back out and celebrate with them without bringing everybody down, then, you know, separate yourself completely. But, you know your limits. Know when it's become a bit much for you. If all you can handle is going and saying Happy Mother's Day and, or giving a card or whatever, and hugging to people, and then after that you feel like you just gotta go, then do that. If, you know, you can get through the day and go out to eat and hang out and everything, then you do that. But know your limits. And number 3, I think, is something that I try to remind myself a lot on the terms of loss, is that Mother's Day is very difficult for moms who have lost a child or miscarried or anything, because in your heart of hearts you feel like you don't really deserve to be called a mother because you're not a mother to a living child. But it also feels like, you know, you had those few moments of motherhood, so it can be kind of difficult. And that reminds me of this quote by Ronald Reagan. I'm a butcher it, so I might put it like on the next slide and just show you. So if I put it in, I'm gonna put it in right here. Yay. But basically he was talking about how difficult it is to lose a child because there's not a name for that person. You know, when you lose a spouse, you're a widow or widower. When a child loses a parent, they are a what is it called, an orphan. But there's no name for a parent who has lost a child, and that especially shows itself around this time, around Mother's Day, because it's like, I was a mom and then I wasn't anymore, and that is something that's very difficult, and it feels like you kind of don't really fit in with this holiday. So just remember that in your heart of hearts, you are a mom, you were a mom, and that's okay. That's something to be celebrated, you know. And even for those that are watching this video who haven't necessarily gone through a loss themselves, but you're watching for like a loved one who has gone through a loss, I think that that's something that's important to say to them, is to acknowledge what happened and to acknowledge that, you know, you were a mom, and that when you were a mom, you were great. Even if you were only pregnant for a few weeks, you know, you did what you had to do for the child. Like you took your prenatals and you did your best to take care of yourself, and what happened, it was out of your control. But that doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be a parent, or that you don't deserve the title of mom. Like something that I think would be really cool is if you know somebody who's gone through a loss, to just give them like a nice card or a flower or something, just to show them like, I know that you're going through a hard time right now, I know that this is a difficult holiday for you, but I just want to show you and remind you that you are loved, you are special, you are cared for, we didn't forget. Because I know, me personally, that is how I feel a lot. Like sometimes I just feel like everybody else gets to move on and go on with their lives, and they get to forget, but I don't. And especially for around Mother's Day and stuff like that, it is a blaring reminder of it. So but even if nobody does that for you, even if you yourself have gone through the loss, you who are watching have gone through the loss, then do something special for yourself. You know, there's this necklace that I want to buy, but we're still trying to get stuff together with our finances and everything, but it's like a remembrance necklace, and I want it. And you know, sometimes you have to do those things for yourself. Buy yourself some flowers, buy yourself something good to eat, you know, take care of yourself, treat yourself, pamper yourself, care for yourself, because at the end of the day, you know, I think my husband said this to me earlier. I think he was referring to it in terms of work, but it's the same thing for like having children and everything. Without you, there won't be a child. So you have to take care of yourself, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. And that means knowing, kind of going back to number 2, knowing your limits and knowing when you need to take a break and not, you know, go out and overexert yourself and end up going and having a mental breakdown. So take care of yourself. And just remember that I know around this time you feel so depressed, or you feel like, you know, you're thinking about everything that you went through, but sometimes it helps to be able to celebrate somebody else and to be able to be there for somebody else, and to just remind yourself, you know, I know that I'm going through a hard time and this is hard for me, but there are people around me who love me who don't really know what to do for me. So sometimes it helps to kind of be excuse me. Sometimes it kind of helps to be a little bit vocal about the struggle, but it also taking a moment to step outside of yourself and celebrate somebody else. So those are going to be my top 3 that I have for you all right now. I just wanted to make this video really quick to just kind of encourage you to just hang in there. I know that this might be a hard holiday for you, but you will get through this. We will get through this. And you know, another thing, this isn't necessarily a number, but something that you could do outside of just like, you know, pampering yourself and everything is, and I've said this before, what is it, affirming yourself. You can write down like on some sticky notes or something, just like encouraging quotes for yourself, and put them up on the mirror or put them up, you know, somewhere where you can see them, and just say things like, you know, you will get through this, you are a great mom, or you know, just encouraging things that you can write down on like sticky notes and put them where you can see them, so that you can remind yourself that you are enough, you can get through this, you are strong enough for this, and things are going to work out well. Things, you know, all things come together for the good of those that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Write down scriptures. I do that a lot too. And just reminding myself that I know it may seem hard right now, but you know, the pain that you're experiencing now is nothing compared to the joy that God, the joy and the glory that God will reveal to you at a later time. So anyway, y'all, please just be encouraged. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Just remember, y'all, that God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Y'all, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can receive notifications whenever we post new videos. Hit that bell button and all that. Just be patient with me. Be patient with me and Daryl. We be trying to make videos, but it just be a lot going on. So just be patient with us, and you know, keep us in your thoughts and everything as we're just going through our process. But thank you all so much for faithfully watching and tuning in, and y'all have an absolutely blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Lord willing, I will see y'all next time. Bye.